Why don't we begin today by coming into a cross-legged seated position? So I'll have you guys go ahead and set yourselves up in that comfortable cross-legged position. We are utilizing a yoga strap today, so as we're getting onto our mats, if you don't have a strap, you could use like a long towel, you could use a necktie. We'll use that for our hip opener later in the class today. So just keep that near the back end of your yoga mat. When you get into your cross-legged seated position, I invite you to place your hands palm face down if you feel like you want to ground yourself. Maybe you're starting out your Monday with a lot on your mind, palm face down, ground, be present. Or maybe you sort of, dragged yourself to your mat this morning. If your alarm would not have gone off, you could have snoozed on for a few more hours. So let's have the palms face up in a gesture of receiving energy. And just allowing the energy to flow in that you need for your day that lies ahead of you. Gently close your eyes and begin to draw your awareness to your breathing. Start to watch how your breath moves the shape of your body, how it changes your form. When you breathe in, notice how your body expands to welcome the breath. And when you breathe out, just feel the gentle knitting of the rib cage together and the dropping of the chest as you release the exhale out. And breathing in, we welcome the breath. Breathing out, soften, release, set down. And keep breathing deeply. Begin your Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi is audible. Sounds like a wave of an ocean that is rolling in and rolling out. The sound of your breath is an anchor to the moment right here. Being present is a practice. It is not something that eventually we arrive at and we never leave. It is something that we return to over and over again. Let your breath, the sound of your Ujjayi breath, be your anchor today on your mat. When the mind drifts, and it will, bring your attention back to the feeling of your breath, the sound of your breath, how the breath changes the shape of the body, maybe even changes how you're feeling. Take a deeper breath in. And once you've exhaled out, open eyes and find your way into tabletop position. In tabletop, we'll start with the hand-shoulder distance. Fan your fingers out comfortably. Have knees hip-width apart. Cow and cat pose are next. On the inhalation, gaze forward, tailbone lifts, navel drops down for cow pose, stretching the front body. On the exhalation, round your back, gaze towards your navel, draw the tailbone under for cat pose. Breathing in, cow pose. Breathing out to cat. 2 more times. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. 1 more. Breathe in, cow. Exhale, cat. And coming back to neutral. Take your knees wide as the outsides of your mat. Bring big toes together. Sink your hips back towards your heels. For child's pose, stretch fingertips forward. Then walk your hands off of your yoga mat to the right, possibly placing your left palm on top of your right hand, stretching deeply through the side body. Take a few deep breaths here. Allow your breath to massage any tight spaces and release tension from the inside out. Hands will walk back to the middle of the mat. Take them over towards the left side. Right hand can stack on top of left. Breathe deeply into the side stretch. Coming back to the center, crawl your fingertips forward, sink your hips back. This is our home base, our place to rest. So anytime you'd like, revisit this pose, hang out here, reconnect with breath, slow down, and you can revisit the postures that we're practicing whenever you're ready to. So next breath in, tuck the toes, lift the seat, downward facing dog. Making that inverted V shape with your body. Begin by pedaling out your feet. Bend one knee, bend the other. Begin to press your palms into the mat. Press evenly, plugging into your thumb and pointer finger. Push the ground away and start to lift your lower abdomen up towards the sky. The hamstrings may feel tight in this first downward facing dog. That's normal. So if you'd like to bend your knees a little bit more, gain more length through the spine. And we'll look forward to the hands. Step or hop feet to the top of your mat. Ragdoll is next. Feet are hip width apart. Folding forward. Hinging from hip creases. Bending the knees. Allowing your head to drop heavy. You can shift the weight a little bit forward so that the weight shifts towards the ball of the foot. And then hips can reach higher, working legs a little straighter. Only if it feels right. As we move through class today, allow your breath to be your teacher, your breath to be your guide. Anytime that your breath is deep, robust, smooth, explore your edge a little more. Anytime that your breath gets choppy, you're holding your breath, or even getting tense in your jaw or your shoulders, we'll ease up and soften. Maybe even exiting a pose that it's just simply not possible to breathe deeply in today. Relax your hands down towards the ground. Over a long inhalation, roll yourself up to standing, press into your feet. Chin close to chest, sweep your arms to the sky, mountain pose, Siddhasana. Guide your hands to your heart. Samasthiti, standing at attention. We can gaze softly to fingertips or close your eyes. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Feel the rise and fall of your breath. Setting the intention with this hour on our mat that our breath is communication. Your breath is your body's voice. Anytime throughout the day, you can use your deep breathing to calm the waves of life, to calm yourself mentally, emotionally, and to anchor back to the present. Deep inhale. When you exhale, relax your hands down, sun salutation. Stretch your arms to the sky for mountain pose, Siddhasana. When you exhale, coming into a forward fold, bending your knees, releasing fingertips down towards the mat, head hangs heavy. Halfway lift on the inhalation, flat back, crown of head stretching away from tailbone. Planting hands, step back to high plank pose, legs straight or knees down. This first one will lower all the way down to the mat, elbows bend straight back. When you get down to the mat, untuck your toes, press the tops of your feet down. Legs hug together and inhale to a gentle cobra, peeling the chin chest up. Exhale, the chin comes down to the mat. Tuck your toes under, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Exhale out. Breathe in. Emptying it out. Step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, high plank, hold and breathe. In high plank, legs straight or knees down. Push the mat away from you. Palms are shoulder distance apart. Elongate your neck by gazing about a foot in front of fingertips. Slide it forward an inch or two, coming to the tippy toes. Bend your elbows straight back and lower down a few inches for low plank chaturanga. Inhales, upward dog. Flip to the tops of the feet. Press into the feet so the knees and thighs lift. Crown of head stretching straight up to the sky. Downward facing dog, seat is reaching. Take a breath in. Emptying it out. One more time, breathe in. When you've exhaled out, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise to mountain pose. We'll move one breath per movement using option 1 or option 2. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, step or hop back, high to low plank. Breathing in for up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. Fill up. Empty out. Step or hop, top of the mat. Inhales, half lift. Exhale, fold. Reach high, mountain pose. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, high to low plank, chaturanga. Upward facing, breathing in. And downward facing, breathing out. Breath in. Exhale. One more, inhale. Empty it out. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. One more Sane, reach high, breathe in. Fold forward, exhale out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward or cobra. Downward facing dog, breathe here. Breath in. Emptying it out. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Half lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Inhales, mountain pose, reaching tall. Sitting back into chair pose, shifting weight towards heels. In chair pose, begin with hands at heart center. Feet are hip width apart. Imagine that you're sitting back onto a footstool. Lower abdomen gently lifts up, supporting the low back. Stretch length through your spine, crown of head reaches high as seat reaches back. Arms can stretch up towards the sky in the next inhalation. And then pause here and breathe. Learning to breathe through challenges is essentially what the yoga poses help us to do. We put ourselves in a variation of awkward positions on our yoga mat. So when we find ourselves in those places off the mat, we have the tools that we need to stay calm, focused, and centered. Breath in. Fold forward, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga, step or hop back. Upward facing dog, breathing in. And downward facing dog, breathing out. Right leg will stretch up to the sky as you breathe in. Exhale and step right foot forward between your hands. Warrior 1, back heel spins down. Reach the arms to the sky. In Warrior 1 pose, elongate the stance so you can sink your front thigh down as low as you'd like without your knee pushing past your heel. If we feel a little bit tippy, take a wider stance and inch your front foot towards the right side of your mat. Plug into your back foot, engage your back leg. Gently square your shoulders forward. Reach up through fingertips. One more breath here. On the exhalation, airplane arms, torso leans forward. In Powerful Warrior, you could gaze down towards your toes. Keep shoulder blades hugging towards each other. Low ribs lifting up away from the thigh bone. Inhale, the arms reach back up, tall warrior pose. Exhale, plant palms, step back, high to low plank, chaturanga. Inhales, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your left leg high, breathe in. Exhale and step left foot forward. Warrior one. In warrior one, take a moment to notice how you feel at the base of the pose. Are your feet even? Can you soften the gripping in the toes? If the toes are gripping, we may need a wider stance. Often toe grip means that our body's like not balanced. Yeah, and you can widen that out. And reach up through your fingers. Gently spin the triceps forward. Breath here. With the exhalation, airplane arms. Feel powerful in this moment. Right, press the mat away with your front foot. Engage through the muscles of the legs. Navel draws up towards spine. Crown of head stretches away from fingertips. Inhale, the arms reach back to the sky. Exhale, plant the palms, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale is downward facing dog. We're going to begin to flow one breath per movement. At any time, you can edit out chaturangas and up dogs, holding plank, or moving right back to downward facing. Take a deep breath in. Emptying it out. Step or hop to the top of your mat. Let's flow. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, mountain pose tadasana. Hands to the heart as you sit back into chair pose. Inhale, circle your arms up to the sky, staying low in chair. Fold forward, exhale out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, chaturanga, step or hop back. Breathe in for upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifting high, breathe in. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale's warrior one. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg lifting. Step it forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior one. Plant the hands, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a breath in. Empty all of it out. Step or hop to the top of your mat. One more flow through. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Sit back, chair pose, exhale. Inhale, arms reach to the sky. Fold forward, exhale. Go at your own pace. Inhale's half lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing in breath. Downward facing out breath. Right leg lifts high. Step right foot forward. Warrior one. Airplane arms. Warrior one. Chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Left leg lifting. Stepping forward. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, chaturanga. Lift up, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here and down dog. Feel free to close your eyes. Take in how you're feeling. The warmth in the body. Deeper breath. Next inhale, right leg lifts to the sky. And when you exhale, step your right foot forward. Bring it close to your right thumb. Crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Rising up to a tall lunge. Option to keep your back leg straight, balancing on the ball of the foot, or placing the back knee down. Gently hug your inner thighs towards each other. Front thigh sinks. If knee pushes past heel, take a longer stance. Find a focal point to steady not only your balance, but to steady your mind. Expand your breath. Next exhalation, bring hands to the heart center. Revolving crescent lunge, lean your torso forward. Twist to the right, hooking opposite elbow to opposite thigh. Here we'll stretch long through the spine, crown of head reaches from tailbone. Draw navel towards spine. And then if you'd like to deepen, send your gaze over your right shoulder. Arms opening wide is optional. Breathe here for 3, 2, 1 more inhale. And when you exhale, plant your hands onto your mat, step back into a high plank pose. In high plank, hold, set up for side plank. Big toes come together. Take the right hand and slide it an inch or 2 forward on your mat. Roll to the right and reach your left hand up to the sky. You can stack your feet, scissor them one in front of the other, and also option to place right knee down. Keep pushing the floor away and lifting your hips higher. Engage your thigh muscles. If you want a little bit more challenge, try looking to the top hand. Next exhalation, release your hand to your mat. Take an inhale to steady your plank pose. On the exhalation, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Send your left leg high, breathe in. Exhale, stepping forward. Inhale, crescent lunge. In crescent lunge, the heels align with your hip bones. If you have your heels too close, it's like trying to balance on a tightrope. Give yourself some space and steadiness. And then once you're steady, feel your core strong. Hug into the center of your pose, reaching tall through fingers. Next exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Lean your torso forward, revolving crescent lunge, opposite elbow to thigh. Take a moment to lengthen the spine, lift up and in through the lower abdomen, then work in your twist by gazing over your shoulder. The twist is working from the oblique, so you could probably lift this elbow up off the thigh because we're not using the elbow like a crowbar. We're using our core strength to help us rotate. Good for strength and also good for your spine. Take one more breath. On the exhalation, plant your hands, step back, high plank pose. Big toes come together, side plank Vashisthasana. Left hand slides forward an inch or so, roll it to the left, sweep in the right hand high. If you want to refine this side, I invite you to try to stack your hips instead of letting your navel roll up to the ceiling. Okay, maybe you float the top leg upward. Maybe you float the corners of your mouth upward, trying smiling pose, which is really advanced. Take one more in-breath. On the exhale, lower into high plank. Feel really steady, then chaturanga. Upward dog, breathe in. Downward dog, breathing out. Inhale deeply. Exhale, open mouth, exhale. One more, breathe in. Let out a sigh. Send the right leg high in your inhale. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Warrior 2, spin the back foot flat. This is our first Warrior 2 pose. Take time to stretch out the length of the stance. Feel shoulders balanced over hips. Arms stretched long like a capital T. And then set your eyes just beyond the tips of your fingers. Noting your breath. Reach it forward a little bit more, then tipping down for side angle pose. Right elbow can be on your thigh. Left arm is going to reach overhead towards the front wall. In extended side angle, we're stretching long through the side body. Plug into your back foot, engage your back leg. Keep reaching, and if you'd like to, you could send your right hand down towards the mat. Reverse warrior with an inhalation. Stretch up and back. Feel yourself stretching away from the right hip crease. Your front thigh can sink. Option to gaze up towards the sky, or we could look towards the back foot. The back hand is super light. Next exhalation is half moon pose. Take the right hand forward and place it about a foot in front of your mat. You can place it on top of a yoga block. Lift your back leg, flex the foot. Left hand stretches up towards the sky. Step gently back, reverse warrior. Take one inhale. And when you exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank. Lowering down to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Other side, take left leg high. Exhale, step left foot forward. Inhale's warrior two. And extend long across the arms. Feel even on your feet, plugging into the big toe mound of the foot, pinky toe mound. Toes are relaxed. I always like to push the ground away with my feet, which helps to bring more energy up to like the inner legs, then into the core. Then radiate that strength out through the tips of your fingers. Next exhalation, extended side angle. Left elbow can be on thigh. Right arm is reaching overhead. If you'd like, send your left hand down towards the floor. Feel your legs strong. Okay? Gently draw in with the lower abdomen. Stack your lungs and reach. Reverse warrior, breathe and stretch back on an inhale. Front thigh sinks. We're pushing the mat away with the front foot while reaching back through the left hand. Next exhalation, half moon pose. Float your left hand forward. Place it on the block or on the ground. Right leg lifts, flex the foot and push through your heel. Stack your shoulders, stretch taller through the right fingers. If you feel wobbly, reach higher. Step back, reverse your warrior, inhale. Exhale, plant hands, high to low plank, chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale is downward facing dog. Deep inhale. If you'd like, cleansing, open mouth, exhale. Breathe in. And breathe out. Take the right leg high on your inhale. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Inhale, warrior two. And stretch out the stance a little bit. Here we'll take a humble warrior. Interlace your fingers behind your back. If you'd like to, you could use a towel or a strap between the hands. And with an inhale, lift up through your heart. On your exhalation, bow the shoulders forward inside the front thigh. And the crown of head stretching down towards the mat. Now in this pose, try to hug your hips in towards the center of the mat instead of pressing them over to the right. Soften any gripping in the toes. And this pose is an opportunity to breathe through reactivity, to breathe through any discomfort. Editing the pose if it feels like it's past discomfort, right? We can always skip things that are painful or don't work. Press into your front foot. With an inhalation, rise back up. Place your hands on your hips. For triangle pose, straighten your front leg. Take your back foot and toe heel it in about a foot closer. Okay, from there, let your left hip slide forward. The right arm is going to reach out towards the wall in front of you. For triangle pose, reach forward, then place your hand down on your shin, ankle the block, and then send the left hand in the sky. In this pose, I always like to float the toes up and press the big toe mound of the foot down. Activates the arch of the foot, also activates the quadricep, giving a deeper stretch to the hamstring. In triangle pose, gaze wherever it is comfortable for your neck and where you can breathe deeply. Yeah, on the inhalation, we'll come up to standing. Placing your hands on your hips, Turn your heels in and your toes pointing out for goddess pose. In goddess pose, we have like a long stance, deeply bending the knees, making sure that the knees are pointing in the same direction as your toes. Lower abdomen gently lifts. Almost imagine that your pelvis is a basin of water, and we want to avoid spilling the water forward. Hands can be at your heart, or if you'd like to take goddess arms, arms are like a cactus. Fingers can be spread wide. Breathe steadily. Press the feet into the mat. On an inhalation, come out of the pose. Place your hands on your hips. Prasarita is next. Turn your feet so that your toes are pointing towards the long edge of your mat. We can have a slight pigeon toe as well. You need to fold forward, hinge from the hip creases. Release the hands down to the outer calves, ankles or feet. Drop the weight of the head. Maybe nod your head yes, shake it no. And the head below heart poses are calming. We also improve circulation, gain new perspective as we turn ourselves upside down. Decompressing the spine, especially the cervical spine, the neck. And walk your hands out in front of you, coming to a flat back. Turn your toes to face the front of the mat. Hop your back foot in a little bit closer, maybe another half of a foot for pyramid pose. Slide your right hip back. In pyramid, I as well like to float the toes up, pressing down into the big toe mound of the foot, and then begin to fold over the front leg. You can have a bend in your front knee. Tune into the quality of your breath. If it's choppy, maybe bend your knee a little more. You can have hands on blocks or even hands on the shin. Revolving triangle pose. Left hand is on the mat or yoga block, and send your right hand up towards the sky, taking your twist. Hug inner thighs towards one another. Be even on your feet. Toes floating is optional, but can be very helpful. Release the hand down towards your mat, bend your knee, stepping it back, downward facing dog. On the inhalation, come to a high plank pose, holding high plank. In high plank pose, draw the low ribs up and in. Keeping your body flat like a board, imagine that you're hugging a yoga block between the knees. And if you're shaking, that's okay. It just means that our muscles are waking up and ready to go this Monday morning, right? Breath in, and then press back, downward facing dog. Left leg is lifting to the sky in your in-breath. And when you exhale, step your left foot forward. Warrior two. Interlace the fingers behind your back, moving into a humble warrior. Lift up through the heart. Then bring the shoulders inside the front thigh. The exhalation, drop the crown of the head down. Really let your head hang heavy. A yoga strap is so handy here. Tight shoulders and chest are so common in modern life because of all of our computer work, maybe driving, right, working off of our phones. So if you do feel restricted, the strap or the towel can actually help you to open up faster. Our yoga accessories can really help us to explore, create suppleness where maybe there was tension. Next inhalation, rise up to standing. Straighten front leg. Place the hands on the hips. Toe heel your back foot in about a footprint closer. Let the right hip slide forward a little bit. Okay, front leg is straight. Left arm is reaching forward for triangle pose, reach. Then place the hand down on shin, ankle, or yoga block. Right hand will stretch up towards the sky. If you want to float your toes up, plug it into the big toe mound of the foot though. So the pad of the foot is still on the mat, just the toes are floating up. Arch of foot lifts, quadricep engages more, steadying the pose. With the inhalation, rise on up to standing. Place hands on hips and turn heels out, toes point out for goddess pose. Hands can be at the heart Or we're taking those goddess arms, making kind of a goalpost shape with the arms. Spread the fingers wide. This time, if you like a little more challenge, lift your heels up off of the mat. Try to relax the gripping in the toes though. Yes. Shoes train toes to grip, which then makes your feet weaker. The arches of the feet don't get used anymore. So if we can train our feet to be strong on our mats, it'll be good while they carry us through our lives, yeah? Sink a little bit lower and then press the heels down, come up to standing. Place your hands on your hips and turn your feet towards the side wall. Prasarita this time, interlace fingers behind the back. Lift up through the heart, take a little back bend and fold forward, exhale. Keeping the shoulders and chest open, help us to breathe. When the pectorals become very tight, it starts to constrict the ability to take a full breath. Right here, we are setting ourselves up for a Monday where we can breathe deeply. We can use our breath to help calm and center anywhere we are today. Hands relax down towards the ground. Heels lift up. Turn the toes to face the front of your mat. Hop back foot in a touch closer for pyramid pose. Fold over front thigh. Option to float your toes up. And you'll know it if it steadies you and if it feels good. If it doesn't feel good, skip it. That's what's so great about practicing yoga, is you are unique. So there's lots of tips and things to try, and you discern what you want to keep in your practice and what you want to set down. Rise up onto the right palm, fingertips, or a block, and take your left hand up to the sky for your twist. And revolving triangle pose, expand and broaden across the arms. And release the hand down towards the mat. This time you'll bend your knee, and we're stepping forward to the top of the mat. Inhale's half lift. Exhale and fold. Rise all the way up to the sky, coming into a mountain pose. And bring your hands together at your heart center. Turn towards the side of your mat, if and only you need for space. So in my space, the wall's really close to my mat, so I'm gonna turn towards the long edge so I have some room. You can grab a yoga strap as well. And once you have your yoga strap, we're gonna be practicing standing hand to foot pose. So stand on your left foot, bend your right knee, loop the strap underneath the sole of the foot. Okay. Once you have that, hold the strap in just your right hand, extend the left arm out, and then push the foot forward. Be tall to the spine. Try to lift up and out of your left hip crease. Send your gaze over to your left hand and draw your foot across, right, towards the right. The balance is the beginning, the breathing is the yoga, right? Yeah. And then we'll come back to the center. Rising moon pose, grab your strap with your left hand. Take your right hand towards the back of your space to twist. And rising moon pose, yeah, reach long, up through the crown of the head. Come back to center, releasing the side. You wanna pedal it out a little bit, shake it off. Opposite side. Loop your strap underneath the sole of your left foot. Okay. Extend your left foot forward, hold the strap in the left hand. Right arm is gonna reach out like half of the capital T. Send your foot over to the left, gaze to the right hand. Come back to the center, try rising moon pose. Hold the strap with the right hand, send your left arm behind you for your twist. Come back to the center. Release the strap. Place your strap at the back of your mat so it's there for us later. And come towards the top of the mat. Sweep your arms to the sky and inhale. When you exhale, fold forward. Walk your feet towards the back of your mat. Crow pose is next, Bakasana. In crow pose, have your hands a little wider than shoulder distance. Imagine that the tips of your fingers are Velcro pads We're going to grip the mat with the fingertips. You'll notice a couple of knuckles, probably the middle knuckle, starts to lift up a little bit. But try to plug into the base knuckle at the bottom of your index finger. Okay, elbows bent straight back. Place your knees on the back of your arms. Try to find a place that feels steady for you. Okay. Once you are there, cat pose with your back, round your back to the sky. Lean forward and reach your head towards the wall in front of you. As you keep reaching your head forward, look forward instead of looking towards your toes. Yeah, maybe one foot lifts today, eventually both feet lift. Keep practicing. Being open to the possibility of taking flight. We will be meeting in low yogi squat. In low yogi squat, walk the toes out. Point the toes out to like about a 30-degree angle or just in the direction of your knees if you don't have your protractor with you this morning. Hands can be on the ground. Hands can be at your heart. If this bothers your knees or your hips, keep the hips at the same height as the knees, taking the pressure off the joints. Thumbs can work gently towards the heart center. If you would like a deeper stretch today, we can take a twist. Right arm will reach down, left arm is going to reach up towards the sky, sending your gaze towards your left hand. Hands can then come back to the heart. Switch sides, left hand reaches down, the right arm is going to reach up. Hands can come back down, lift your seat to the sky. Sway your hips a little bit side to side, walking the feet together. On the inhalation, halfway lift. On the exhalation, come back to a high plank pose. And from high plank pose, we'll lower down onto our forearms, working on core strength this morning. In form plank pose, the body is like a board. Try to get your hips at about the same height as your shoulders. Press the ground away with your elbows and draw your lower ribs up and in. Okay, bend your right knee, almost touch the mat or do, then straighten your right leg. Then bend the left knee, straighten. Right, bicycle in plank pose. Knees bend, go at your own pace. We have 10 more seconds, we can do this. 3, 2, 1, lower down all the way onto your mat. Arms can rest at your sides. Lay your right cheek on the mat, soft gaze to the left, and just allow your body to melt into the mat. Close your eyes and feel your breath. Feel your heart beating. Locust pose, bring the chin onto the mat. Arms are long at your sides, palms can be face down. Feet are hip width apart, and with the inhalation, lift the chin, chest, and arms up. We can stay here with the feet grounded or float the feet up as well. Reach back through fingers, lengthen back through the toes. Gaze slightly down so the neck stays neutral. One more inhale, lifting. Lower down, exhale. Place your left cheek on the mat. Softly gaze to the right. Melt into your mat as if you were an ice cube melting on a sidewalk on a warm day. And bring the chin onto the mat. Interlace your fingers behind your back, variation of locust pose. You can also use your strap. On the inhalation, lift the chin, chest up, draw the knuckles back. If you want to float your feet up, that is optional. You can reach back with the knuckles. When you can't go any further back, try lifting them up a little higher. Yeah, here for 3. Opening across the chest and shoulders, 2. And release everything down. Softly gazing towards the left. Right cheek is resting. Eyes can close. Bow pose is next. Bring the chin onto the mat. Bend your knees, draw your heels in towards your seat. Reach back, capturing the feet. If the feet aren't available, no worries. We'll just reach back as far as we can. If we don't capture the feet or ankles, flex your feet. Okay. With an inhalation, begin to kick the feet towards the back wall behind you, elevating the chest and shoulders up off the mat. Keep your gaze forward, right, and slightly down. Again, kick feet a little bit more into the hands. Breathe, 3, 2, release gently, slowly exit the pose and lower onto your mat, softly gaze to the right. If you'd like to, you can start to sway your heels a little side to side. Maybe bend your knees and sway your feet side to side, the windshield wiper. And then cat pulling its tail pose is next. Take your right arm straight out in front of you. Roll over to your right. Once you're rolling over to your right side, take the bottom foot and bring it out in front of you, okay? This is going to be our anchor. Now, if you felt like it was available to you, you could bring the foot all the way forward and hold onto the foot with your left hand, or just leave the foot there. Bend your knee and reach back with your left hand and capture the foot. Begin to draw the tailbone inward just enough to start to feel more of a quadricep stretch. And then if you have the right leg stretching forward, you could take the foot into the hand of the right, and that's like the full awkward cat pulling its tail pose. I always like to bring my arm forward and rest my ear on it though. Quadriceps tend to get tight when we have to sit. Yeah. So this is a great opportunity to create some space there so that the tightness in the connective tissue around the quadricep doesn't pull the pelvis into a misalignment, leading to maybe some back pain. Yeah, and then let's release this side. Bring the foot back, roll like a crepe all the way over towards the left side. So you're lying on the left side of your mat. Take the underfoot, the one that's on the bottom, bring it out in front of you to help you to counterbalance. Bend the top leg, right hand will reach back for the foot, then kick the foot into the hand a little bit. Gently draw your tailbone in, not really tucking it, but just draw it in enough where you really start to feel more sensation stretching your quadricep. You may notice how good it feels or how intense it feels. We do stretch our hamstrings quite a bit more than our quadriceps, though in modern life, we probably should be doing equal duty, yet front and back. Yeah. And let's release this side. Come on over, roll to the middle, place the hands under the shoulders, glide your way back. Tabletop position. When you get to tabletop, we'll take threading the needle. Right arm is reaching up to the sky. Thread the right arm underneath. Place right shoulder in the mat. If you'd like to, crawl left hand forward or take the left arm and widen it behind your back. Couple of breaths here. Release the left hand under the shoulder, press into the palm, sweep the right arm up, stretch it to the sky, then place the hand down. Other side, left arm is going to lift up. And then thread the needle, arm goes underneath. Place the shoulder on the mat, maybe send the right hand up to the sky. You may have heard in a yoga class that our hips hold on to our emotions and our stories from the past. Our shoulders are bearing the weight of our current life. In our shoulders, we'll feel the stressors and tension of a more current situation. So be kind, patient, breathe. Feel almost like with every exhale, you're setting down the weight of the things that have been weighing you down or making you feel a little tense. Set all of that down with the exhales. Reach the arm back up, place it under the shoulder and coming up. Okay. Sweep your heels off to the side. Once the heels are off to the side, we'll lower down onto our backs. And when you come down into your back, we'll set up for a bridge pose. We'll start with your feet hip width apart. Knees are bent. Feet on the mat. Press down into your feet. Keep your chin pointing straight up at the sky and lift your hips up towards the ceiling. From there, you can start to tuck your triceps and shoulder muscles under you. Interlacing your fingers is optional. This is a great time to keep your gaze up. If we look side to side, we could risk straining our necks, and nobody wants a neck ache, right? But I want to bring your attention to your feet in this pose. What if you float your toes up and press down into the big toe pad of your foot? Right? Feel the arch lift, and notice if you have more freedom to lift up a little higher. If it does not work for you, no worries. Right? Some people as well like to have the heels lifted up when they do bridge pose for more length and freedom. And lower your hips down towards the mat. Windshield wiper your knees side to side. Second and last back bend, bridge pose or wheel. If you're trying wheel pose, hands will go behind your shoulders. The fingers are going to face towards the front of your mat. One of the things to try is try not to tuck your hands so far under the shoulders. The thumb aligns with the earlobe. Press down into your feet and begin to lift up into a half bridge. And then we push into the palms and try to float the head up off the mat. Working the arms a little straighter. Eventually the heart presses towards the back of the mat. If you're going into bridge pose, tuck the arms underneath you. Keep breathing. In wheel pose, lifting the toes up and pressing into the big toe mound helps quite a bit as well. Last 3, 2, and release it. Lower all the way down. Windshield wiper the knees. If you took wheel pose, maybe circle your wrists a little bit, releasing your wrists. Bottoms of feet come together. Knees butterfly open. Hands can rest at your sides. Palms turn to the sky. We often say in yoga classes for sure, but also through life, take a deep breath. The truth is on how the breath works and how the body breathes is actually when you inhale, muscles within us relax and welcome the inhale. They actually relax so that the atmosphere can enter. And when you exhale, you use muscles then to press and give back the breath. So I'd love for you just to pause and notice this feeling that you relax within yourself and you welcome the breath. Now when you exhale out, you give the life force, you give the breath back. Inhale, welcome the breath. Exhale, give the breath back. Maybe imagine as the trees are exhaling, you are inhaling. When you exhale, the trees inhale. And draw your knees together. You can slightly open your eyes, locate your yoga strap, and just set it by you so you have it near. We'll be doing our supine twist next. So take the knees in close to you. Take your arms out like a capital T. I always like to bump the knees a little bit to the right, so like an inch or to the right, then drop the knees to the left side of your mat. Begin with your right shoulder lifted, and if that feels good, keep the shoulder lifted. Right? If it feels better to bring the shoulder down, you can drop it towards the floor and send your gaze to the right. Come back to the center. Set the feet onto the floor, inch the hips to the middle of the mat, then slightly to the left. Knees come up to chest. Drop them in a little pile off to the right side. Maybe the shoulder blade stays lifted, that's okay. And then we can let the arm become heavier and heavier as we hold the twist and breathe. Come back to the center. Once you're at the center, send your left leg long in front of you. Locate your strap. Wrap your strap around the sole of your right foot. If you can hold your foot without a strap, then maybe just hold it instead of using the strap today. Hold the strap in the right hand only. Left arm extends out. Okay. Let's begin to draw the foot back a little bit, then over to the right to stretch the inner thigh. And sometimes, like I'm having to, you just have to reorient yourself a little bit, turning slightly on your mat so that you have enough room to open your foot out. Even if the mind wants to wander to your day, try to be here. Breathe, notice your breath, hear your breath. Then bring your foot back to the center, grab the strap in the left hand. Start by bringing the foot back a little bit, then over to the left. Right arm extends out as a counterbalance, like a wing. Come back to the center. Hold both one side of the strap with both hands and draw the foot straight back. Hamstring stretch. Flexing the foot will intensify. And then let's release slowly. The right leg stretches out long. And take your left leg up to the sky. Loop the strap over the left foot. Hold the strap in your left hand. Open the leg out to the side. Giving yourself this last bit of class to be fully present with your experience. Notice what you're feeling, how you're breathing. Come on back up to the center. Hold the strap in your right hand, draw it across. Push through the heel. Feel the sweet stretch through the outer leg. And if it does not feel sweet, we can lift the foot up a little higher. Yes, that you find that place that's not too much. Come back to the center. One side of the strap in both hands, draw the foot straight back. If you'd like more intensity, flex the foot and push through your heel. And release the side. Take your leg long. Let the feet be wide as the outer edges of your mat. Toes drop open. Hands are at your sides, palms turned up. Just take a moment to get comfortable and slide your shoulder blades underneath you. Unhinge your jaw. Sink deep into your mat, into the floor. Imagine yourself lying in a paradise, whatever that means to you. The air is clean and pure. And you're simply lying in this beautiful paradise. Nature is breathing your body for you. You can watch the breath be welcomed in and be shared out with the exhale. Keep your body still and feel the sweet sensation of rest in your physical body, in your mind. We can begin to wiggle our toes and wiggle our fingers. It's powerful, the peacefulness that we feel, the harmony and balance we feel when we spend time focusing on our breath. Stretch your arms long over your head. Bending your knees, slide your feet in and roll off to your right side. And come up slowly to a cross-legged seated position. Bring your hands together at your heart. Moving off of our mats with a simple intention or even an affirmation for today. When I breathe, I am centered. When I breathe, I am present. When I breathe, I am centered. And when I breathe, I am present. Take a deep inhale. And when you exhale, bow forward. Namaste.